In the turbulent years following the fall of the Roman Empire, as the lights of classical civilization seemed to flicker and die, a single man retreated to a cave, seeking not to escape the world but to save it. His name was Benedict of Nursia, and from his solitude would grow a movement that would preserve knowledge, shape Europe, and change the course of Western history. Born around the year 480 into a noble Roman family, Benedict was sent to Rome for his education, but the young scholar found a city plagued by vice and corruption. Disillusioned, he made a radical decision. He abandoned his inheritance and his career, fleeing the city in pursuit of a life devoted to God. He found his way to the remote village of Subiaco, where he lived as a hermit for 3 years in a mountain cave. A monk named Romanus provided him with food and a monastic habit, lowering it by a rope as Benedict dedicated himself to prayer and asceticism in total solitude. His holiness could not remain hidden. His reputation grew, and he was eventually persuaded to become the abbot of a nearby monastery. But his strict rule proved too much for the monks, who attempted to poison him. According to legend, when Benedict blessed the poisoned cup, it miraculously shattered, saving his life. He returned to his cave, a failure in his first attempt at community leadership, but his mission was just beginning. Disciples now flocked to him sincerely. Benedict established 12 small monasteries in the valleys of Subiaco, each a beacon of order and devotion in a chaotic world. However, the envy of a rival priest forced him to move on once more. With a small group of loyal followers, he journeyed south to a mountain called Monte Cassino. It was at Monte Cassino, around 529 AD, that Benedict would forge his enduring legacy. On the summit, where a pagan temple to Apollo stood, he built a new monastery and a chapel. Here he wrote his masterpiece, The Rule of Saint Benedict. This was not just a set of harsh restrictions. It was a practical, compassionate, and balanced guide for communal life. The rule was built on a revolutionary principle, ore et labora, prayer and work. The monk's day was carefully divided into balanced periods. The communal recitation of the Psalms, known as the Divine Office or the Work of God. Manual labor in the fields, gardens, or workshops to make the community self-sufficient, sacred reading and study of the scriptures. The rule emphasized moderation, obedience, and stability, a vow to remain in one community for life, under the guidance of an abbot, a father figure elected to lead not with tyranny, but with wisdom and care. Benedict's life was marked by miracles that cemented his reputation as a man of God. Beyond the poisoned cup, there was the poisoned bread, which a raven carried away at his command. He brought a young boy back from death. He foresaw the future, accurately predicting the reign of the Gothic king Totila, who came to test him. His twin sister Saint Scholastica also dedicated her life to God, and in a famous story her profound love for her brother and for God was so powerful that it invoked a storm, allowing them to continue their final spiritual conversation together. Shortly after her death, Benedict saw her soul ascending to heaven in the form of a dove. Benedict died at Monte Cassino around 547 AD, standing in prayer at the altar shortly after receiving Holy Communion. But his work was immortal. The rule of Saint Benedict did not die with him. In the centuries that followed, his rule spread from Monte Cassino across a war-torn and fragmented Europe. Benedictine monasteries became islands of stability, centers of agriculture, education, and culture. In their scriptoriums, monks meticulously copied not only the Bible and theological works, but also the classical texts of Latin literature, philosophy, and science, preserving the knowledge of the ancient world through the so-called Dark Ages. For this immense contribution, Pope Paul VI in 1964 proclaimed Saint Benedict the patron saint of all Europe. His legacy is not confined to the past. The principles of his rule, balance, community, and the pursuit of peace continue to guide monastic communities worldwide. He showed that a life structured around prayer, work, and study could not only transform a single human soul, but could also help rebuild a civilization. From a cave in Subiaco to the foundation of Western monasticism, the life of Saint Benedict stands as a timeless testament to the power of faith, discipline, and a simple revolutionary rule: to truly live, one must pray and work.